Not trying to start none on this app, but wrestling is on fire. Now, we just had WrestleMania. This month of May is pretty big. Tomorrow night, Backlash for WWE. We also having, I think, TNA's, they're on fire. AEW's on fire. Javon versus Ricochet on Twitter. We got Mandy Rose saying stuff again. Soraya, Mariah May. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen, but we do know Backlash is tomorrow night. SmackDown is tonight. Possibly Alexa Bliss is finally showing back up. Possibly Jeff Cobb from Lucha Underground could show up tomorrow. Double or Nothing is coming up for AEW. So as we're hitting the start of the season for WWE, we're hitting the end of the road, or end of the year for AEW. Let's see what Backlash is talking about. Now, the card's not the greatest. The build-up's not the great. I would say the best build of all the matches would be Lyra and Becky, because it started at WrestleMania. Now I would have did something different for WrestleMania, but just the way it started up and going on, that's the best build. I don't hate any match. We got John Cena, Randy Orton for the last time. We'll see how that goes. Lyra and Becky, as I said, Dom and Penta, which I think that's a fill-in, because I think Logan and Jay was supposed to fight, but somehow we got misconstrued. They're thinking that they're going to end up fighting. That's going to be a championship match later down the line this month, Saturday Night Live. So that's what that is going to be. And then we got a fatal four-way with Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, LA Knight. And also maybe a match that I feel like shouldn't happen, but I'm not mad at it because it is an unsanctioned match and things could happen. Pat McAfee versus Gunther. So we got that, and like I said, AEW, TNA's got Slammiversary coming up very soon. They also have their own thing going on. Trick Williams is getting into that. We kind of, if I'm not mistaken, I think Battleground is the same day as Double or Nothing. So I see what they're doing with that. And again, AEW is doing pretty good. We're going to see Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. We're going to see Hangman versus Will Ospreay. That's going to be phenomenal. And then they're going to add the rest to that card. But today we're talking about Backlash. And by the way, shout out to the sponsors. Sponsor to the one that's sponsoring this video right here is going to be Key Energy Drink. Make sure you hit that code. That link is going to be in the bio. KLU is going to be the code. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be doing tons of WWE sports, any type of talk on this channel now, because that's what we're going to be doing. I got to start yapping. But let's go ahead and get into the predictions, because that's why we're here. Let's go ahead and get into it right here. And let's start off with Gunther and Pat McAfee. Now, obviously, this started because Gunther tapped out to Jay. And honestly, I would have had Jay versus Gunther in this Backlash. I would have had Jay versus Gunther because I feel like it's called Backlash. And normally with Backlash, they kind of give you those rematches and give you a reason why. I feel like the Gunther and Pat McAfee is all for another reason, but I feel like you could have used that same reason for this match. So now they're putting Pat McAfee versus Gunther. And obviously, like I said, he tapped out Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee are big Jey Uso fans. They've been eating and always talking noise about Gunther, but Gunther is a real dog in that ring. And it being an unsanctioned match, I'm expecting Pat to do some wild stuff, because Pat's not going to be in a regular match. I've seen Pat fight Adam Cole and at War Games and other things like that. So this is not going to be a regular match, of course. Pat wouldn't sign up for that because he's not a wrestler. And I think that was like one of my other issues, that he's not a wrestler. Why is he wrestling? He could have put this in another spot. Like I said, Jay versus Gunther would have been here. Then you would have added another match to it. But I digress. So obviously Gunther should win this match, but things could get interesting there and find a way for Pat to win because Gunther could look. They could use somebody as a name, is what I'm saying. Is Goldberg is the name that's possibly the one that's going to show up and cause a little, cause a little bit of deflection on Gunther trying to win a match against Pat, and I think they're gonna put Gunther in that spot where Goldberg wants his last match, and if you've seen Bad Blood in Atlanta last year, they had an altercation. Then it's possible that they might have another altercation here in St. Louis on tomorrow night. So I guess we'll just see how that goes. But for my prediction, I'm gonna pick Gunther. I won't be surprised if Pat McAfee wins because of the Goldberg situation, and we'll see from there. Most likely Gunther versus Goldberg at SummerSlam. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see how it goes. And of course, we'll have another video after a recap of everything that happened. But that's what I'm going with down on that. Now the filler match, to me, Dom versus Penta. Penta's had multiple opportunities to win, to fight for the Intercontinental Champion. Him and Dom have been fighting for the last pretty much since Penta been here. It's been Penta versus the Judgment Day versus Penta, or Ludwig Kaiser, or Penta's I feel like Penta's kind of stuck in a situation where WWE they threw us into this portal where Penta was gonna be sensational. Penta was gonna be the must see TV every week. But now I feel like they just put us in a box where he's stuck with Judgment Day, and they can't throw him nowhere else. So that makes it seem like him and his brother, which is also stuck in a box too, but it's still close. But see, because now they didn't put him with the Phantasma, and I feel like that's the same kind of box. It's not the Judgment Day, but it's a alliance. Now we're gonna put you against somebody the same people. I see what y'all doing. I don't like it, but I think what's going to happen is the Lucha Bros going to end up getting back together to help the tag team division, because WWE tag division is not the best, especially on Raw. So, and the draft is coming up. So, pretty much Dom's going to win this match. He's got 2-match alliance, but I think what will happen is finally what we've been waiting on, which is Finn is going to finally get fed up. I don't know if exactly it happened tomorrow, but Finn will find a way to. He's been getting jealous for a little minute, but I think Finn will find a way to make it about him, which he always does. But Dom will still retain because he just has the numbers. No one's going to help Penta. So give me Dom on that one. The Fatal 4-Way, Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Damian Priest. By the way, all this is predictable, but I'm just giving you a little bit of insight of what exactly I think could happen. So Jacob Fatu is probably going to retain because he, just like Dom, he's a new champion. They don't really let champions just lose the title just that fast. They both won it at WrestleMania. But this is really just to display how good Jacob Fatu is. And it's a Fatal 4-Way, so anything can happen. And also, we're really paying attention to see how Solo is. It's simply the same thing with Dom and Penta with Jacob Fatu in this match. Finn Balor is hovering around Dom. Solo is hovering around Jacob Fatu. It's pretty much the same thing. So it's just going to see exactly how this works. Obviously, Jacob Fatu is going to retain because Jacob Fatu can really beat all three of them with no help. Maybe Solo comes in and tries to help, but maybe backfires a little bit. Maybe almost costs Jacob Fatu the title. But I expect this match to be insane. I expect this match to be fast-paced. I expect this match, tables, chairs, announce tables, people just going, like Jacob Fatu just going crazy on the top rope, flying over people, things of that nature. But Jacob Fatu will retain. But I think we'll finally close this chapter with these three hovering around it, and we'll open another chapter with Solo. Becky and Lyra. Now, this is a possible of a title change. Lyra's had the title for a minute. She's the first and only women's Intercontinental Champion. Okay? So that is the only thing about it. So the thing is with that, I'm really iffy about that, and I think a lot of people are picking Becky. So I was talking to my boy Pat about this earlier this week. So I think if Lyra wins, right? I'm trying to remember what I said. I think I said if Lyra wins, it'll put more attention to her. Because the reason I said she would win, I think she would win because of Bayley would come back and help her win because Becky attacked Bayley. So Bayley will bring Bayley back, and I think the real attention is Bayley versus Becky. I think that's the real attention. But WWE, the question is, do you want to use that feud without a title or with the title? Because you can possibly have Becky win and Bayley still come back, or Bayley try to help Lyra, Becky capitalize over there and wins. So it's really interesting how they would work it. For me, I would pick Lyra. Just because the elevator, because I feel like she really hasn't had her moment, and she really looked good when Becky came back. So I feel like you just put more people on her. And again, like I said earlier in the video, you have the draft coming up, so you can add, because the women on the roster is not that great. So that's why Lyra looks so good now, because Becky comes in, makes her look a little bit better. And a lot of people now are like, dang, Lyra actually pretty good. She's good on the mic. She's already good in the ring, but now it's like, oh, this is the champion. That's how people are looking at her now. So it's like, do you want to kill that momentum now? Because if you kill the momentum, where do you put her at? If she loses, where do you put her at? If Becky loses, we already kind of know where she's gonna go. It's heading towards Bayley. If she wins, it's still heading towards Bayley regardless. So what do you do with that? To me, I would pick Lyra. For the official, though, I'm going to pick Becky because Becky's never won this title. And again, when just listening to and reading the room, it seems like they want Becky to win it because that's what Becky does. She when it comes to setting records or getting people over women-wise, Becky's the one to do it. And by the way, people that keep saying Becky Hogan, please give me an understanding why y'all keep calling her that. I think people need to look and see exactly Hulk Hogan's accolades. Just like Sami Zayn, people say Sammy Hogan. Sammy has never won a world title, by the way. Hulk Hogan's only won 6 WWE championships, 6 WCW champions. He's not the greatest of nothing. So I just want to get an understanding of that. Sammy Hogan, Becky Hogan. Why is that? Somebody please explain that to me. Because there's no reason why people should be calling Becky Hogan. Becky is way better than Hogan, and Sammy, really, he's a better wrestler than Hulk Hogan, but when it comes to accolades, he's not touching Hulk Hogan. So please, somebody give me an understanding what that means. Okay. Now, back to the original story. Last match, Randy Orton versus John Cena. Everybody knows the last real champion is gonna win it, but it's so good to see Randy and John fight one more time. And it's roles reverse. Randy is a face, John's a heel. It's always been the other way around. I'm looking forward for John to do something sick and sadistic because it's in Randy Orton's hometown. We know what Randy Orton did to John's brother. His dad. I'm expecting to see John do something to Randy. Because if this is the John Cena that we're supposed to be grabbing our attention to and understanding what he's doing, which is being that heel, being that last champion, humiliating us and ruining wrestling, give us some of that. I want to see what you're talking about because you've been talking, but you really have. I mean, you showed it at WrestleMania because a lot of people did not like that match because they said it was a terrible main event, but that's the part of him saying, I'm ruining wrestling. Let's see if you continue to do that and exactly see what you do. Tonight, John Cena will be with Randy Orton on SmackDown. We'll see how that goes, but let's see exactly what happens at Backlash. How does John Cena does this? Is it Travis Scott? I doubt The Rock shows up. We're gonna go ahead and scratch that. R-Truth. I've been seeing him a lot lately. In segments when John's in the back, him and talking to Jimmy. It's very interesting to see exactly what happens. But obviously, John Cena is going to retain. So I got John Cena winning. Hesitant, but I'm going to pick Becky, Dom, Jacob Fatu, and Gunther. Those are my Backlash predictions. What we're going to do, we'll come back tomorrow after it's over on a recap and talk about it. And if y'all have any questions, if y'all have any comments, hey, put this in the comment section. And like I said again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to continue to keep talking wrestling. NBA playoffs is going crazy. NFL all season going on. We got a lot of things to talk about. It's just the start, baby. Until then, see you then. And God bless.